Alright guys, got a Wolong review. I know it's like 2-3 weeks after the game came out. A little late, but I wanted to sit on it just because I've been busy. And also just wanted to gather my thoughts, I guess. This won't take too long because I don't got much to say about it. But let's just get right into it. So Wolong is from Team Ninja. They made Nioh 1 and 2, and it's a Souls-like game. Like through and through, it's a Souls-like game. Probably leaning more towards the action for like the main reason of the parrying being the thing that carries the combat. And so you can parry in like Sekiro or Dark Souls, I think, and Nioh and stuff. But Wolong, when you parry, it has like this super fluid movement of parrying. Like you get attacked, you parry, and you're like, you slide, and you know go somewhere. And then you can do a follow-up attack right after. And so I think that's what like holds the game together is the parrying and the like combat. And because if you're playing like a Dark Souls game, you know, it can be slow depending on the weapons you use. And even in Wolong, it can be slow at times too if you're using like the big-ass hammer. But the thing that I really, really love is that the parrying time depends on the weapon you use. So if you use like swords maybe per se or like a spear, it will be easier to parry. And if you use like a big hammer, it could maybe be easier. But, you know, if you do upgrades, you can make it harder, easier, whatever. And so I really like that because you kind of can use like anything. And even if the parrying is slower, the attack speed might be faster, or it, you know, vice versa. And so I think that is like a huge part of the game's core is just the parrying and movement. And that's where I feel like it goes more action game than Souls-like. Like it's Souls-like in the sense where you got, you know, your stamina, your attack, your defense, your magic. You have the 5 main elements in the game, which is like fire and grass and water and lightning. And each of those elements you can upgrade and get spells to throw and shit, right? And it's like, it's pretty sick. It's really cool. But the thing that makes it super action-y, I guess, is just how fast you can move between every character as well. It's just like, it's insane. Like, I don't even know what to really compare it to other than Souls-like games, even though that's not what it feels like. It's more so like a Final Fantasy VII Remake, where you're just constantly moving, doing stuff. Kind of a terrible comparison again, but I don't know. It's super fast-paced. It's really, really fun. It's even faster-paced than, like, Sekiro, because Sekiro, you know, you have your, like, one base sword. You can't really, like, mix and match with stuff, and parrying is, like, the lifeblood of the game. Same thing with Wolong. Parrying is, like, a huge factor, but you can kind of get a little crazier, you know, with magic and other stuff. And so I think that's like a big point that will probably sell people on the game. If that doesn't sell someone and you want to play for like the other stuff, like the music and the areas, that's also pretty damn good. Like the characters, the designs, the details on the characters, man. Like every character in the game is beautiful. Oh my god, like Mamma Mia. Like the guys, some of the guy characters in this game, just insane. The details, dude. Like guy, girl, it don't matter. Every character in this game is beautiful. I don't know if it's like a new face tech they have at Team Ninja or Koei Tecmo or a new engine or whatever, but the details on the models specifically is wild. Like even with the bosses and some of the enemies, it's pretty damn like detailed. Like the main characters are more detailed than, you know, like the fodder tiger enemy, but still, it's a huge step up from Nioh, I think. Personally, I played this on PS5 as well. But also from like older Soulsborne games, I think it's also better, which that's, you know, just the time and it's next gen. But yeah, the main thing is it looks really good. The areas look really good. It's in the Warring States period, so it's all similarly like, you know, war zones or, you know, like a castle siege or a battlefield or, you know, stuff's on fire, villages on fire, right? So you don't get the variation of like a Bloodborne or like a Dark Souls or an Elden Ring per se, but I guess you're probably not really playing for that because you have those other games for that. If you're playing this one, you're probably playing for maybe like the time period or just, you know, because you like these type of games like me, or just like the challenge with the bosses, which is a kind of a complaint with this game. The difficulty isn't that hard, maybe just because I played like every Soulsborne and I played Nioh like a couple weeks before Wolong. I was better at it, but I just wouldn't really say that either. I don't want to give myself too much credit because I'm not a pro or anything by all means, right? I'm still pretty shit at times, but it kind of wasn't that hard. There's, you know, a set amount of main missions. There's more than like 14. I'm not going to say how many, but there's more than 14, and I only played the main missions. I would start out the mission like 10 levels below the recommended level, but I would get about like 4 or 5 levels behind by the end of the mission, and I would still clear the boss after a couple of tries. You know, it'd be challenging, but it still wouldn't be like this is impossible, Dark Souls level, I can't beat this, I need to go max out my stamina stat so I can have the best damn armor in the game because I'm taking too much damage. That's not really how it works, because there's a morale system that every level starts at 0 and works its way up to like 23. And so you can kind of manipulate the morale system with the weapon parry time, and it's just not really too difficult. Like, the first, like, 80% of the game is pretty easy when it comes to that. Like, the bosses are just, you wait for them to attack, you parry, and, you know, you attack whenever they're vulnerable. That's kind of how it is. The final couple bosses do have some, like, bullshit delay attacks, which makes it harder. It's not, like, all bullshit where it gets annoying. There was one specifically that fucking sucked. But it was still really cool. Like, the area was cool and the boss fight was cool. But, dude, the delay attacks, they blow. They're terrible. Like, oh, I hate them. But other than that, it's a good game. It's great. I really enjoyed it. I wish it was a little bit harder. Like, it took me 20-ish hours to beat, which each mission took me about an hour to beat. You know, add that all up. There's not 20, but I only did the main battlefields. So I wish there was a little more in the sense of that, but it could be just me because I didn't do the side stuff compared to like Neo, which it took me, you know, 40 plus hours because you have to do the side stuff. Wolong, you can go mission to mission and you can beat it perfectly fine if you're just, you know, updating your gear and whatnot. I didn't even do really upgrades. Like, as I played through the levels, I would just find, you know, better chest piece or better headpiece or just a better weapon. And each level I just, you know, switch out my stuff and I'd be good. Which is nice for some people, right? I don't really like grinding either. So that was really nice where I can just play through the game, experience the story, and not have to worry about, like, the frivolous, like, side stuff that just takes extra time that you don't really want to do, right? So that was nice, and I did enjoy that. But I guess there's a balance that I kind of wish there was a bit more with the challenge. But once again, like I said, yeah, it's a person-to-person thing. But I don't think it made the game worse for me. Like, I purposely didn't do the side stuff as well, just so that I could have that little extra challenge, which I think helped a lot as well. If you're going to go into the game, that's like a main thing. Do not grind to be like 5 or 10 levels above the recommended level for the main battlefields, because it probably will not be fun, or at least it'll be way too easy. Because even me being like the recommended level, like at level 60, if it's saying rec level 60, I was doing a nice chunk of damage. I guess maybe depending on, you know, what you spec and whatnot, it could change, because I was just doing heavy damage, heavy armor. So once again, it's a Souls-like type thing. You can kind of mix and match and do whatever the hell you want, but I don't know. That's up to the person playing. But just straight down, to the point, Wolong, it's great. I really enjoyed it. I'd give it like a B+, maybe a solid B. The only issues, like I said, was it was a little too easy. Wish there was a bit more to it, just gameplay-wise or like area-wise or mission-wise. But other than that, it was great. It was super fun. I think it was worth the wait. I can't wait to see what the last Ronin is from Team Ninja next year, which is their next game. And Wolong, I guess, clearly was kind of like them testing some new stuff, because, you know, it did elevate itself from Neo as well. Like, if you had to pick between Neo 1 and Wolong, I'd probably go with Wolong. But if you're looking for a more Souls-like experience, I would say Neo, because Wolong does go the more action-y route. But, you know, people like that. They don't want the slowish gameplay. So that's it, guys. It was quick, nothing too crazy, just give my thoughts about it. But if you see the game and you're thinking about it and it's like $40, I would go for it. If it's $60 and you really want to try it, I'd still go for it. If you're on the fence or you don't know, there is a demo. It might be taken down at this point. I don't know, but maybe wait. Maybe wait if you want something to give you a little more time. There is DLC coming in the future, but you got to pay for it, obviously. There is some endgame content. There's like a couple extra levels at the end, which I did the hardest one in the game, and it was pretty annoying, but I still did it. So, I don't know. Either way, I'll give it a B. Check it out if you want, and if you don't want, then don't check it out. Other than that, I'll see you guys later.